Okay. Watch it.
Yeah, one of the reasons I got kicked out.
Okay.
Masabihin ko, mamo ko. Kasi nung bata ka, di ba, gusto mo labas ng labas, maglalaro, masabi ka, lumabas. Labas ka pa rin.
Yes. Atakas.
Tatakas pa.
Atakas. Okay. So yun po yun sa inyo. Alright. Next.
Bem ako, nahirapan naman, nagtanong ako sa kanya.
Preview muna. Bem is very obedient.
Wow. Praise God.
Siguro nga, gumising maaga. Hindi ko alam, wala akong naisip. Ay!
Sabi mo na, kumain ka niyan.
Oh, kakain mo
Kain
siya.
din.
Kumain na. Sige, di kuya, ayaw ka na.
Yung dilantan sila.
Ako, it's very similar to Cham. Very similar. When my parents used the verse, obey your parents in the Lord, this is right. It's very hard for me because I'm a very independent kid when I was growing old. It's very hard for me to submit.
Right. Yes.
Ako siguro yung mag-headbutts kami ng tatay. Kasi parang I always saw him as competition when I was growing up. Tapos magkaiba kami, logical siya ako yun.
Illogical.
Minsan. Pero yun. Parang sabi sa atin na parang hindi tama yung gagawin mo kasi nahihirapan ko na yung sarili ko. Ako yun. Gagawin ko.
Pwede mag-add. Kasi nung bata talaga ako, napakapili ako kumain. Pag kahit yung sabihin ng magulang na mabuti sa'yo yan, talagang hindi mo kakainin para hindi gusto ng diyan. Kasi yung talaga, ayoko talaga.
Okay, pagkain talaga. Okay, bro.
Pag-gising sa umaga yung hindi ako. Eh, kung ito, lalo ang ginising dahil ng 5 a.m. Ayun.
Ano naman mo, kuya?
Ang ginising ay 6 to 4
Para sa pag-ibig.
Ano yan, siguro marami kasi pero isa na lang yung pag-uwi nila rin ng maaga kasi masyadong mabakana. Ayun. Ang hirap talaga iwasan. Ano mo yung pagkakita ng tatay. Ganun. Ang hirap iwasan. Kahit sa pagiging.
Okay, show me later. Thanks, Boris. So yung sa akin naman would probably be yung huwag kumain na masyado mabilis. Kasi ako pag nilatan mo na tayo yung pagkain, higupin ko na lahat yan. Choke na ako or something like that. Kahit yung wife ko, sinasabihin pa rin ako, don't suck your food in. You know? Kasi parang siyang hihigop eh. So, we should all agree that lahat ng mga points na yun, there was a reason. There was a reason for why those commands were given. May dahilan. And I think for many of us, sometimes one of the reasons why we did not continue to obey is because we did not understand the reason. Hindi natin naiintindihan kung bakit ba. Hindi ko naman, kunyari, yung mga ayaw umuwi ng maaga, gusto late umuwi. Wala pa naman namang nangyayari masama sa akin nung umuwi ako ng late, di pa naman ako nadidisgrasya, mabait naman yung mga kasama ko. Eh, pag umuwi nga ako ng late, mas okay nga, konti yung traffic. Pag umuwi ako ng mga 7 p.m., 6 p.m., napaka-traffic. So, there is what we call a lack of understanding. And many times, a lack of understanding could lead to more disobedience. Hindi meaning that mali yung command. It does not mean that mali yung utos or yung sabi sa'yo. It just means that possibly we are using the excuse that because we have a lack of understanding, maybe it's not that important. Maybe we don't really need to obey. So let's look at our examine portion in our booklet. And let's talk about what it means to follow Christ. We read Romans chapter 6, verse 1 to 7, and it's all about being baptized into Christ. We're going to go back to that, but I want you to keep that in your minds. What does it mean to be baptized into Christ? Once we understand what it means to be baptized into Christ, then we will begin to understand the importance of obeying the command to be baptized in water. Okay, so that's where we have to start. But first, what does it mean to be a follower of Jesus? Alright, why don't we just quickly turn to John chapter 14. This is very simple, and I think alam naman natin to, every single one of us knows what it means to be a follower of Jesus. John chapter 14, verse 15 says, "If you love me, you will keep my commands." Agree po ba tayo? I think we agree. So, do you believe that it is a mark of a true follower of Jesus that they obey His commands? It is, right? And syempre, pagdating sa mga mas serious na commands, hindi naman tayo mag-compromise. Like, thou shalt not murder, hindi naman tayo mag-compromise at sabihin, baka optional lang naman yung thou shalt not murder. Optional lang naman yung thou shalt not lie. Well, actually, some still try. Diba? Some will still try to see, well, pwede naman ako magsinungaling sa anak ko or magsinungaling sa kapatid ko para maprotektahan siya or something like that. Iko-compromise pa tayo. But ultimately, Jesus never asks us or gives us permission to compromise. Alright? So, a mark of a follower of Jesus is that he or she does not compromise their obedience to His commands. Now, I'm going to have somebody read from Luke 14. Something about this book, sometimes I have to flip a lot of pages. Pero mamaya mag-focus tayo on the passage. Luke chapter 14. Can somebody read verse 26 to 28? Volunteer. 26 to 28. Go, bro.
If anyone comes to me and does not hate father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, even their own life, such a person cannot be my disciple. And whoever does not carry their cross and follow me cannot be my disciple. Suppose one of you wants to build a tower, won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? How about 26,
Yes.
28?
Yes, correct. Sige, verse 29.
For if you lay the foundation and are not able to finish it, everyone who sees it will ridicule you.
Okay, so we can stop there. So, ano yung analogy ni Jesus? Jesus is saying, pag susundan mo ako, full dapat. Complete, total surrender, total obedience. Wala kang iiwan. And the analogy that Jesus uses is a builder. Sabi niya, sino ang builder, ang gagawa ng building, pero hindi mo na niya sisiguraduhin na meron siyang enough concrete, enough metal, enough screws, and whatnot. And Jesus is saying, before you claim that you are a follower of Jesus, before you start calling yourself a Christian, start calling yourself a follower of Jesus, have you counted the cost? Actually, yun yung sabi niya in verse 33. In the same way, therefore, every one of you who does not say goodbye to all his possessions cannot be my disciple. So his point there is counting the cost. Have you counted the cost of what it means to be a follower of Jesus? In Christ, you lose everything yet gain everything. In following Jesus, you lose everything. You lose your rights. You lose your own personal identity, your dreams and aspirations that you thought was best for you. But in doing so, you gain everything. In fact, you gain the universe. If we know what it means to be a follower of Jesus, ang tawag po sa atin, we are co-heirs of Christ. And when we are called co-heirs of Christ, meaning everything that belongs to Jesus now belongs to us. So when Jesus says that He's going to put everything under His feet and He's going to be the ruler of the new heavens and the new earth, we are going to rule with Him. We are going to reign with Him. So if you think about it in terms of an investment, sobrang okay na investment talaga siya. But the real question is, are you fully invested? The real question is, have you surrendered everything? Now when Jesus says, if anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, and even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. A lot of people are confused by that. But basically, Jesus is saying something very simple. He's saying, compared to your love for me, the love that you have for yourself and for everybody else should look almost like hatred. Yun yung point ni Jesus. Kung tinignan mo yung pagmamahal mo kay Jesus, kumpara sa how you love your family and how you love yourself, the love that you have for Jesus should so dwarf the love that you have for things in this world that it would almost look like hatred compared to the love for Jesus. It's not a command to hate your parents. It's not a command to hate your mother and father or your family or your children. It's simply an emphasis on the command to love Jesus first. And basically what it's saying is that if you love Jesus, you will obey Jesus. And as we know, there are many people who claim to be followers of Jesus that haven't given everything up. And just because you go to church, and just because you pray with everybody else, and just because you study the Bible, doesn't mean that you were a genuine follower of Jesus. Case in point. When we look at the feeding of the 5,000, pinakain ni Jesus yung 5,000 people, ang maraming sumunod sa Kanya. Why? Pinakain niya eh.
Yeah.
How many ministries do we see na minsan parang ganun din? Pinakain natin sila, kaya sila pumupunta. Pag wala ng pagkain, hindi na sila pumupunta. Saya naman, di ba? So, Jesus fed 5,000 people. Ang maraming sumunod sa Kanya, or pag wala ng pagkain dito, no? Dito kaya sila. Hindi naman ganun.
Sige, si Jane.
So, because of that, ang maraming sumunod kay Jesus. And this just goes